and welcome to Reformed Studios Live. My name is Joseph Chisola, and today's topic will be looking at how to find the right marriage partner, and I'll be joined by Pastor Chopo Mwanza from Faith Baptist Church, Riverside in Kitwe. Let me just mention now that we are live on Facebook. We are also live on YouTube and Instagram. And so I encourage you, as you are watching, to like the page and share the page with as many people as you can. And tell us where you are watching us from. We would want to know where you are following this program from. And send any questions that you have, questions and comments in the comment section, and we'll certainly get back to you. So we are looking at how to find the right marriage partner. Let me just welcome Pastor Chopo. Pastor Chopo, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you. It's good to be back.
It's good to have you, brother.
Yeah. Now, looking forward to a conversation.
Great. Thank you so much. So we may have people that are joining us for the very first time and might not know you. Would you just give you a minute or so to just tell us, tell the audience about yourself? Where are you? What are you doing in Kitwe?
All right. Thank you. Chopo Mwanza. I am married to Kunda, and we are blessed with 3 children, a girl and 2 boys. And I serve as pastor at Faith Baptist Church, and I also serve at Central Africa Baptist University here in Riverside, Kitwe.
All right. Thank you so much. So today's topic is a very interesting topic. We are looking at how to find the right marriage partner. It's part 2. We did part 1 earlier, and I want us to just go through briefly what we looked at in the previous broadcast that we had. And so we considered a number of questions last time. We looked at how to do soulmates exist? That was the first question that we considered, because there are people that ask that question to say, is there one particular person that God created for you as an individual so much that you just have to marry that person? There are no other people that you can get married to. And I think, Pastor Chopo, you made a number of attempts in answering that question. And we also looked at mistakes that men make in the process of searching for a life partner. We also looked at the mistakes that women make. And then later on, we looked at what to look for in a partner. So I would want to just invite Pastor Chopo to briefly just give us a summary of what was covered in the previous broadcast, and then we will switch to what we have for today. So Pastor Chopo, just briefly, just give us a picture of how the first part went, how you responded to those questions, and then we can switch to what we have for today.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Real quick, I think one of the things we highlighted is that finding a marriage partner is not mystical. It is a choice one makes. So you make an evaluation, you make an assessment, and you make your choice. And there's no such thing as a soulmate, one person who is just meant for you, and therefore, if you get it wrong, if you don't kind of meet the one person that is meant for you, you are then doomed and stranded. the other major point that came out from in trying to look for a marriage partner, but also in how to make assessments, was the fact that you need the body, the body of Christ, the church. So it's important that someone is, as a Christian, is a healthy church member, and has accountability, is being discipled, and relating with people of the opposite sex as brothers and sisters. And it's from there, it's in that setup and in that context that you are most likely to find a suitable partner. We also kind of dispelled and just challenged the superficial standards and criteria and the things people look for, and just zoned in on the importance of someone with a credible testimony of salvation, the importance of someone who is a health church member, the importance of someone who is who is able to resolve sin and conflict biblically, i.e., someone who is able to admit they are wrong, someone who is able to ask for forgiveness, someone who is able to grant forgiveness, etc., etc. So in a nutshell, those would be some kind of the gist of or some of the things we looked at and the gist of our conversation, I believe 2 weeks ago.
All right, great. Thank you so much. One thing that stood out for me as you discussed this topic last time was the fact that marriage is hard work, that a good marriage doesn't just happen. You need to work towards having a good marriage. And I think that was very important because some people tend to think, well, when I just get married to this person, I'll have a good marriage. But I think it was very clear that one needs to work towards that. And so it doesn't happen. It doesn't come on a silver plate. One has to work towards that. And I think that was very helpful. So as we move on, I want us to just remember, I think there were 3 important stages that Pastor Mwindula mentioned in his introduction concerning, I think, what his dad shared with him, that the most important stages in life that one needs to think through and be able to make the right decision are that the first one is when one is hatched, and he referred to that to be a time when one is born, and when one is matched, referring to marriage, and then the third one was when one is dispatched and referring to death. So these 3 stages are very critical, and I think it stood out for me as well. And today we are looking at the second part, which is when one is matched. It's very important, therefore, for someone to be very careful as they make this decision of who they settle down with in life, because marriage, as we know, is not an event, it's lifetime. You stay with this person forever until death do you part. So it's very important that one takes very careful thought about it. You don't rush into it. You ought to seek the Lord even as you engage in that. So people tend to use various strategies, Pastor Chopo, on how to find a life partner. Some people tend to say, well, I'll go to the mountains and spend my time there in prayer and fasting, and hoping that while on the mountain, I'll hear an audible voice, God telling me, now go down, this is the person that I have kept for you. Others tend to say, that doesn't matter, all I do is wait, and as maybe Bemba Tem somebody would say fika is over. When the time comes, something will just happen. I'll find the right partner. And others tend to wait for their maybe parents or any person that they trust to help them locate or find this kind of a partner. But do we have any biblical guidance from on how one can find a life partner? Because I think that is what we need to really focus on, because there are so many strategies that people tend to use. And in my mind, I have the case of Abraham. At the time when he was about to die, he was an old man, and he calls his servant and asks him to make a commitment that he would go and find a wife for his son Isaac. And he gives quite some guidelines on how this whole process was going to be taken. But we'll come back to that. I just want us to now proceed and look at this question: what should someone do at the time when they are waiting for their partner? What should someone do while they wait for the right partner? Any thoughts on that question, Pastor Chopo?
Yeah. One, you should do whatever your responsibilities are and live your life faithfully and contently. So what does that mean? Well, it means that you are faithfully growing in your relationship with the Lord. You are relating with all the people God has placed in your life. If you have parents, your parents. If you have siblings, your siblings. If you have friends, your friends. If you have churchmates, your churchmates. You are relating with them faithfully, and enjoying your relationships and enjoying your responsibilities. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Why is that important? Well, because preparing for marriage does not begin at the time you find someone to marry. Preparing for marriage is a lifetime. So it's Pastor Rafa Banda, or of Mazabuka Reformed Baptist, who years ago taught on the two major approaches to finding a marriage partner. There is what he called the checkpoint approach, which is a person will behave the way motorists behave in between checkpoints. They will drive carelessly, they will speed. Then when they hear there's a checkpoint ahead, they slow down, they behave. If the children in the back were standing up, they're told to sit down. They put on their seat belts, they meet the officer, greet the officer, they pass, and the moment they pass, they speed off again. And that's how most people kind of behave when preparing for marriage. They'll live carelessly, they'll be as irresponsible as they can be, unfaithful in their responsibilities. And then when they find someone to marry, and they, they'll go for those ceremonial meetings where you are going to. Those meetings is always humble, very calm, very quiet. That's a checkpoint. Someone might be a serial killer, but they'll pretend like they're okay.
Yeah.
However, Pastor Banda recommends the discipleship approach, meaning we need to be intentional about preparing for marriage way before we are even. And what does that mean? Well, that means that you are striving to be faithful. You are striving to be loving. So, for instance, you don't need to find someone to marry to begin loving. Loving people is an expectation of every Christian. You don't need to learn to be patient until you find someone to marry. Patience is a requirement of all Christians of all statuses, single or married, and so on and so forth. So what should someone be doing while they wait? They should strive to grow as in their Christian life, to be faithful in their responsibilities, them to the best of their abilities, but also to be faithful in the various relationships they have and enjoying them to the best of their abilities. That's how you actually prepare for marriage in a healthy way.
Great. That's very good. That's very good, Pastor Chopo. I can add to that. I think as one waits also, as you invest in your relationships with those that are around you, and I like the key word you used, you must enjoy those relationships. So you are deliberate about it. And then I'm also thinking of the aspect of one investing in their relationship with God. It becomes that time when one has to grow in their love for God and in their service to the Lord. Get busy serving the Lord while you wait upon the Lord to provide that rightful partner than just sitting and doing nothing about it. It's not a time to mourn. It's not a time to look at, oh, my friend has been married, has been taken, my friend is getting married, and maybe you start thinking, am I cursed, am I what? It's time to get busy, focused on what God has installed in you while you serve Him, and through that process, God is able to come through. And above all, spend time praying and watching, waiting upon the Lord, because He's a God of faithfulness. He grants us according to His perfect will. And so we also don't expect that we'll all get married at the same time. It doesn't happen that way. It doesn't happen that way. So having mentioned that, Pastor Chopo, I just want at this particular time to mention one aspect of our program. 2 weeks ago, we had a program with Pastor Million Kambuli, and we are looking at the subject of tithe, which is a real struggle among many people. And one of the things that we did was to ask a question, and that question that was asked, the promise was that the winner would actually go away with a book. And so today, I am excited to announce the winner for last time. And our winner for last time is Pastor Mbao Moses. He is the one who got the prize, which is this book that I'm holding in my hands, providing for pastors by Pastor Jeremy Walker.
Fine. And it becomes a way, clear. You have a right to say, Mwana, what's this? What are you doing? What's your plan? Is what do you want?
Yeah.
So that the burden and the onus is on the guy to state exactly what he wants.
Yeah.
Never entertain a guy who cannot confidently or clearly explain what it is that he wants, because that's a leadership issue.
Yes.
That's a lack of direction. You don't want to start following Umuntu who doesn't know where they are going. So gently, graciously ask, what is this? Before I start responding to you every day, before I start talking to you every day, what's this? Like, what's the plan? So that's for ladies. Don't entangle yourself, if I may say. Don't get, that's why we've ended up with it's complicated situations. If the Bible has very clear definitions of relationships, right? You are either friends, or you are courting, or you are married. So if you want, use biblical terms. So, in biblical terms, you tell me, what is this relationship? And so that you have clarity. For men, i.e. older men and also parents, we need to get a hold of these young men and even, older men who have commitment issues. Because someone who has commitment issues in one area often has commitment issues in other areas.
Other areas, okay.
And we just need, so we need to be able to disciple, to challenge, encourage, and sometimes even rebuke some of these men who just can't commit. And just work with them and help them to have clarity, to have a backbone, and to have the character to commit. Some of them just need positive peer pressure. Some of them need to be challenged, in that you find a guy is chatting with 5 different ladies every day. So you find that this one is emotionally attached, that one is emotionally attached, that one is emotionally attached, that one is emotionally attached. But he is actually not committing to any one of them. So we need to get a hold of those young men and sit them down and just have a heart-to-heart conversation with them and say, listen, get your act together. And even for some, we need to help them with whatever their fears are. Gently, graciously, patiently, but firmly.
Okay. That's very helpful, Pastor. There are people also who tend to just have, whether it's fears or that could just be them, as you've mentioned, that they have just commitment issues. So when you come across such young men and you sit them down, you counsel them, but you still see that trend, could it be the evidence of this individual not just willing to take counsel? And if they are in your youth group, for example, in your church, you've helped them, you've counseled them, but they don't seem to improve in any way, and the ladies around keep complaining. To what extent can you go in helping them, in sitting them down?
Well, so for some, we need to realize that these are character, personality traits, even habits that they may have caught or learned or developed over a period of time. So change is not automatic. It's not abracadabra. But one of the things Abu said to such a guy is, listen, if you have commitment issues and you have fears and struggles, you shouldn't be pursuing a marriage partner.
Okay.
You kind of deal with the issues until you are very clear with a very clear plan. Then you can get into into that relationship. And if if such a guy starts pursuing ladies in the church, the laughing thing I would do for the sake of the young lady's heart is sit them down and say, this thing you're starting, I hope you know he has commitment issues. So that the cards are on the table as it were. But like I said, a lot of Christians I have not been discipled, and so they have a certain level of immaturity and need to be helped in just some of the basics. And unfortunately, I think the church has kind of picked on the mantra of the society and the community with a huge emphasis on the girl child, that you find that discipleship of boys and discipleship of young men, even in the church and in the home, is lacking. So you find that in the home, the young lady will be well discipled and trained for life, and the young man is as irresponsible as they get, and we're comfortable with saying these are boys, So my appeal is, there's need for discipleship, and so to the young men who are listening, listen, approach someone, a godly Christian man, and ask them to disciple you, whatever stage of life you are in. And for those elderly men who are listening, take on young men, disciple them. Just invest in them and help them grow and mature. And that way, you will be doing a great service to the church. You'll be doing a great service to the home. You'll be doing a great service to the nation.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Pastor Chopo. That's very helpful. To our viewers, we want to encourage you to like the page as the program is going on. Please do like the page and share the page as well. Share the link with those that you love, those that you feel would benefit greatly from our discussion today. And send your comments, send your questions, and we'll be glad to get back to you. At this particular stage, let me, Pastor Chopo, allow me to just advertise our book for today. The question for tonight is a very interesting question. So the question is, what should a young person do while they wait for God to send the right partner in their life? And the winner will go away with this book, How to Find the Right Marriage Partner. It's a book that was written by Pastor Raphael and his wife, Raphael and Namukolo Banda. So this is the book that shall be given to the winner. So the question again is, what should a young person do while they wait for God to send the right partner to them? So send the answers in the comment section, and we'll be able to announce the winner in our next broadcast. Thank you so much. So we'll proceed with our next question that is on our table this evening. We have looked at women, men that just don't want to commit. Does that also affect women? Do we have women, Pastor Chopo, that don't just want to move? You approach them, but maybe they are not just willing in that sense to move, to commit. Do we have such as well? And how do we deal with women in that kind of a situation?
Sorry, I didn't hear the last part. I think the network hung or something. Could you just...
Okay. So I was talking about the fact that we've looked at some of the young men who are not just willing to commit, they are failing to commit. And so now the flip side of it is, what about the women? Those that are not willing to commit, they just don't want to move in that sense. They don't want to have this relationship take off. How do we deal with such women?
So again, we can use the same approach. What should the young man or a man do who is approaching a woman and she's not budging? Now I'm assuming we are talking of, are we talking of she's saying no to his approaches, or are we talking of she is not committing to marriage?
Okay, I think let's deal with both. Let's see how we can deal with both.
All right.
Because there could be individuals in either of those positions or in those situations. So maybe let's offer counsel to both situations.
Okay, so let's begin with, someone, you approach someone, they say no. So one, you want to be able to respect a person's decision. Particularly when you're dealing with an adult. If a grown person says no to you, and they make it clear, it's not a spiritual warfare issue. It's the person has just said no.
Yeah.
As a general rule, you should take the no. Now, there are times, for instance, when the no is because this person doesn't know you. You've come from nowhere, and you quickly ask him, and the person just feels, listen, I don't have enough to work with.
Yeah.
No. Well, then you be patient. Don't push things. Don't harass. There was an audio that went viral a few months ago of a young man pleading and crying. Because the young lady said no, and this young man was just weeping and going on about how he can't live without this young lady, and I don't know what I would do if you say no, and come on, first of all, it's not true to say I don't know what I would do if I can't live without you. That's a lie. You've lived all these years, So as a we should we should be able to take no and respect that, and not take offense. You know, be mature about it. Someone says no to you, it's not an insult. They are saying you are not the person they would like to get married to, and they have every right to do so.
Okay.
Respect that and wish them well. Now, you know, it may happen in the future, things might change. Great. But yeah, you know, rejection is not an insult. Someone saying no to you is not saying, they are not saying you are worthless. They are simply saying you, and they don't feel you are the right person for them, and that's okay. That's very okay. You know, now if you are in a relationship and you know a lady is hesitant to marry, well, first of all, you as a man, you want to make your intentions and your plans very clear. You know, so it has to be, it can't be, you know, so for instance, what some men do is they want to test the waters. You know, so they kind of hint without committing. So you know, what if we got married next year, and then the lady says, no, next year is too soon, and then says no, she's not willing to get married next year. Well, no, don't what if. You clearly state, hey, Bane, I would like us to get married next year by September. You know, I would like, you know, I would like my family to come to your place in 2 months' time. What do you say? That's something someone can actually respond to. Now, if you want to get married next year and the person you are courting is saying, you know, for me, I'm not going to get married anytime soon, you know, at least 5 years. You have two options there. You can say, listen, for me, I'm getting married next year. It's either it's you or it's someone else, but you know, my plan is I'm getting married. Now, you don't say it that way. You don't say it that way, guys. You know, so you know, you have to make your intentions and your plan clear, so that the lady knows, hey, here's a very clear proposal, a very clear plan that I need to respond to. Am I willing to get married next year? And friends, we should come to terms with the fact that sometimes that might be an indicator of, you know, clearly we are not men. You know, we this won't work. We are on two different paths, and you know, I hear you. I respect your wishes. God bless you. But it might also mean there is need for counsel. You know, that's why we keep emphasizing that you need to seek the counsel of godly people, particularly godly couples. You know, so it may be, you know what, let's talk to someone. You know, let's talk to a couple. Let's hear. Let them help us think through and process this issue. So that's how I would. You know, every situation will be different. There are situations that will require patience. That you wait, right? There are situations that may be an indicator, it may be a sign of, you know, let's part ways. So in a sense, it depends on the situation. But most importantly, I would say get counsel from people who know you and who have known you, so that they might help you think and process.
Okay. Wow, that's helpful, Pastor. There have been situations where I've heard that for ladies usually to say yes, it's not always common, because they feel when they say yes, then they are being, maybe they are so desperate to try to say no, and in the event of doing that, they expect that a man should just figure it out, that I think he or she means yes. So the question I want to ask is it okay for Christian ladies, when in their heart they mean to say yes, but they say no with the view that a man should figure it out? Should we have that approach? Is it all right for Christian ladies?
Yeah, well, James 4, says, let your yes be yes, and your no be no.
Yeah.
And the principle there is your word should have meaning. You should mean what you say and say what you mean. And you should commit to your word. So saying yes when you mean no, or saying no when you mean yes, is a, in a sense, it's an integrity issue. You give the response that you actually mean. I would add, now, not everyone agrees with me. For me, there's a sense in which maturity also says maturity implies a person knows what they want, and they say what they want.
Yeah.
And so there should be, there should be a point, like, there was a time when, you're in secondary and playing around, it's like there should be a point where you are mature, and you know what you want, and you say what you want. So if a guy says, hey, would you consider marrying me? And your answer is yes, but then you say no. There's just a problem there. So no, I would say it's not proper.
Okay. Yeah. So on that, Pastor, again, is there a place for persistence? I heard of a statement that I think it's one of the slogans we were using before we finally got married. I think a number of my friends are now married. But we used to use this statement that persistence overcomes resistance. So much that when you approach a lady and she says no, and you are really interested in her, you are convinced that she is the one for you, you should continue. You should continue pursuing her. How long should that pursuit go? The person keeps saying no, keeps saying. Is there a place for persistence overcomes resistance?
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, there's definitely a place for persistence. There's a place for patience.
Yes.
When to continue, when to stop, would depend on the person. It would depend on the circumstance, and it calls for wisdom. Yeah, I don't think there is a set out criteria So there are times when the first time you try, you should move on. And there are times when you should hang around and try again.
Yeah.
How do you know? It depends. And so it requires wisdom. And in the multitude of counselors, there's great wisdom. So I remember, I mean, there were times, you would go and your friends would be like, they are good signs.
Yeah.
You should try again. Give it some time. And then there were times your friends would say, move on. So in the multitude of counselors, there is great wisdom. So yeah, I agree that there are times when perseverance or persistence it might be necessary. I mean, Jacob persisted, didn't he? Even after he got the one, he didn't get the one he wanted. Now it was persistence with the father, not necessarily with Eddie, but the principle applies.
Yes.
When to apply that really depends on the situation or the circumstance.
Wow, that's very helpful. That's very helpful. I think it's important to know, to discern how you move in all this, because at the end of the day, you may just be hanging on, waiting for this particular person when in their heart of hearts, they are not actually interested in you. And so you end up just wasting your time and now there are also those ladies who would say, well, I'm still praying about it. They don't want to lose you. They are not very sure because they are now being told, if you lose this guy, maybe you might not have another opportunity. But they are not just sure. They don't really love this person. And they are trying to say, if maybe with time they might start loving this person. And so their response is always, I'm praying about it. I'm praying about it. How should a man respond to such? Maybe for how long should we hide in the I am praying about this?
Yeah. Okay. So I would say one. Fine. If someone says I'm praying about it, great. Pray about it. Ask around, consult.
Yeah.
But that praying about it can't be perpetual. And because you're not going to hear a voice from heaven saying, "Hey, my daughter, this is my son who is a right fit for you." You have to make the decision.
Yeah.
Now, what should a guy do? I would say, okay, fine, give it time.
Yeah.
But you should be able to say, listen, after such and such a time, if you are still unsure, I will make it clear for you. Let me move on. Because again, you don't want to be in a state of perpetual. Now you want to also know what exactly is this person praying and thinking about.
Yeah.
Is it an issue of I'm not sure about your character? Is it an issue of you know what, I have decided now is not the best time for me to be in a relationship, to pursue marriage? Like there has to be what exactly are we praying about?
Yeah.
What are you sure about, and what are you not sure about? So that there's clarity. So I find that a lot of things we confuse and say are complicated are really not complicated. It in a lot of times it boils down to we have fears, so we don't want to commit. And life doesn't work that way. Sooner or later, you will have to make a decision in life.
That's true. Thank you, Pastor Chopo. Our time is slowly moving fast to the end of our program, but I would love us to tackle the next question, Pastor. Can a woman propose to a man? Can a woman propose to a man, or is just a man who should take the initiative? Do we have a scenario, a situation? Can we have a scenario, a situation where a woman takes up the lead, because this brother doesn't just seem to be taking the step. I mean, everything is clear. It's clear to this lady, in her judgment, the guy is interested, but he's not just making the move. Can this woman take that move and propose to this man?
Two particular verses come to mind. One is Genesis 2, verse 24 and 25. For this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife. So the man is the one leaving, the man is the one taking the initiative, and the man is the one leading. Proverbs: he who finds a wife finds a good thing. And the idea is there has been effort and initiative to find a wife. So asking is part of headship. It's part of the leadership. So can a woman ask? Well, they can. The question is, should they?
Yeah.
Must they? Is it proper? No, it is not. Whoever does the asking is the head of that relationship. Whoever does the living and the finding then sets the initiative and becomes the leader of the relationship. And ladies, you do not want to be the one marrying the guy. And men, you do not want to be married. You want to marry. So if a guy is not taking the initiative, and not taking the move, and not doing the asking, dear ladies, leave him alone. Let him be. He's not ready to be married. Let him be single until he figures himself out. If you take the initiative and take steps for him, I can guarantee you he is going to frustrate you in marriage, because he will remain in Dui in marriage just as he is in Dui before marriage. So it's very important that the man takes the initiative.
Okay. Yeah, that's very helpful, Pastor. There are there are issues I think that need to be dealt with and dealt with the right way, because anything that you do at the start of the relationship, at the start of the marriage, sets the pace, lays the foundation of how everything is going to be carried out. There's been also instances, just in line with what we've just tackled, instances where a man comes out openly and says, I do not have the money. And because the lady loves this man, and she says, I'll come in and maybe provide the money so that you pay either for my dowry or whatever it is. How do you look at that?
Yeah.
Pastor Chopo,
So
are you able to hear me, or have we lost you?
I can, no, I,
It's fallen off.
hello? Can you hear me?
Okay. So Pastor Chopo has just fallen off, but he'll be brought back. The media team is working extra hard to get him back. But as we reflect on just what we have looked at, I think it's very important for us to remember that whatever we do at the beginning of anything, be it a relationship that we are getting into or a marriage, we are setting the foundation. We are laying the foundation. And the rest will just be building up on that. So, how you want your marriage to proceed, if you want to be the man providing leadership in that marriage, then make sure that you set that pace right from the beginning. And as a woman, you are going to be submissive to this man. And then you have to learn to wait patiently and allow the man to take the initiative. And I think that is what we should always remember. And like we looked at earlier, as you are waiting, it's that process where you commit yourself to doing what God expects you to do. You engage in developing your relationship with God. You engage in serving God faithfully. As you wait, who knows? As this man sees you engaging in the work that you are doing, serving the Lord, he might just realize what kind of a partner you actually become. And the man can then take that initiative and approach you. Okay, welcome back, Pastor Chopo.
Thank you.
Good. It's good to have you back. So I was just making a comment based on what you just brought out, that it's very important for us to remember that whatever we do at the beginning, we are actually setting the foundation on which we are going to build on. So if we want to be heads in the home as men, we must take the initiative. And if women are going to be the helpers who support us, then they should also do that right at the very beginning of the relationship. Let's hurry on to our last question. In this whole process of finding a life partner, is there a place for physical attraction? Or as long as this sister is born again, filled with the Holy Spirit, she loves the Lord, she's actively involved in YP, she's actively involved at the home group, it's okay for me to proceed? Is there a place for physical attraction? And I want us to look at this maybe from both sides, actually, from the men's side, from the women's side. Is there a place for physical attraction as one settles for a life partner?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so what I often say is, before you see a person's character and Christian virtue, you see their physical body. You see their face, and you see how they are made. So, and at that point, we you know, we all judge. When you meet a person, you look at them, you determine this person is handsome, this person is beautiful, this person is good looking. Consciously, we do that, and I think that we can be pretentious as Christians sometimes, and we pretend like we've not seen that this person is beautiful. You know, so obviously, the person we all approach is a person we find attractive. That's just the way it is. So physical attraction is an obvious thing. You know, so if you see someone in relating or approaching a person, just know they find this person physically attractive. Now, you're hoping that's not the only thing, but it's definitely a thing, and it is valid.
Yeah.
You should hear how people in the Bible are described.
Yeah.
So, for instance, when Isaac saw Rebecca, it says he saw that she was beautiful to behold.
Yeah.
You know, same thing is said of you know, Jacob and Rachel. He saw, and he was like, I like what I see. So of course, physical attraction is legitimate.
Okay.
You are appreciating God's wonderful creation. Now, we all find different things attractive, and that's the beauty. That's the beauty of God's creation, and that's the beauty of life.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Pastor Chopo. And just want us to, before we finally close, just want to remind our viewers, we could have had a number of friends that have missed this live presentation, and you do well to just share the link, share what we have learned, so that they too can watch the recorded version. And so as we are winding up, closing up our topic for today, our discussion for today, Pastor Chopo, any last words? Any last words to the young men, any last words to the young ladies, those that are still searching and looking for a life partner?
I would say, if you are single, enjoy your singleness. Be grateful, and make the most of the season you're in life. Marriage does not complete a person. You know, so if you are single, do not think or feel you are inferior. You know, so blossom where you are, and make the most of the season you are in.
Wow.
And if you are desiring a marriage partner, it is not wrong. Pray, you know, relate, and wait on the Lord to provide. So there are times I think single people can feel like desiring marriage is like a bad thing. No, it's not a bad thing to desire marriage. It is okay. It is healthy. Desire marriage, wait on the Lord, relate with people, make the most of your singleness.
Powerful. Before we finally just close, Pastor Chopo, there is a very burning question that has just been shared, and I would want to just get your quick comments on it because our time is gone. The question is coming from Dorothy
Sure,
Makozo.
not a problem.
Yeah, she's asking the question, if one compromises physical attraction after knowing a person and seeing that they are what you are looking for spiritually, etc., can it bring problems later? So there's the aspect of compromise on physical attraction. Yeah.
Okay. So is physical attraction a non-negotiable? Yeah, i.e., can you grow to love and be attracted to a person over time? Yes, you can. You definitely can, because beauty is not skin deep. And there's actually a point where, as you relate to a person, you are attracted to their character, their personality, way more than you are attracted to their physical physical body. So you know, should you make appearance, you know, physical attraction P1? No, I wouldn't make that, because beauty is not skin deep. You know, someone can get bent, and their face changes. So does that mean you are no longer attracted to them? Oh no, because attraction is way more than just physical appearance.
Great. Thank you so much, Pastor Chopo. You made your last comment. I just want to throw in my last comment as well as we wind up. And it is this, that before one chooses a life partner, I think it's important that you know yourself, discover who you are, and discover what God has designed you to carry out in terms of your purpose in life. So that even as you approach this individual, you know exactly what your mission on this earth is. Because as you are choosing this partner, this person will come alongside you to help you achieve that which is your God-given mission. So it's very important for one to discover who they are. I think self-audit would be good, because I think that is what will even drive you to approach that particular individual, because you know that this person will be able to help me achieve that which God has called me to do, even in this life. So we will end on that note, and as we end, a reminder, please share the link for those of us that have been watching the live broadcast, so that those who have missed can be able to catch up and also follow through the recorded version. Our question still stands: what should a young person do while they are waiting for the right partner? And this book will be given to the winner. And so send your answers in the comment section, and we'll be able to announce the winner the next time we are live on Reformed Studios. So we'll come to the end of our program here. It's been great having you, Pastor Chopo, joining us live from Kitwe, and we are grateful for the wisdom that you have shared with us. We do trust that many that have been following have benefited greatly, and we also want to thank our viewers. Thank you for spending your time following through, and thank you for your contributions, your questions, and we pray that whatever has been shared will be of great help to you, so that as you make those decisions, God himself will be able to guide you through it all. So from me, it's good night, and God richly bless you. Thank you.